Hey all, I felt like doing something on the harmonic minor today, and the place to start obviously is just what it is. It's the Aeolian scale with a raised seven or natural seven instead of a flat seven, and the intervals, all of them would be root, second, flat third, four, fifth, flat six, natural seven, up to the octave. And so one place you could obviously play that is if there was a minor scale, or sorry, minor chord with the natural seven in it. And it's a no-brainer because that's what the scale is, and this is the chord that would lie underneath that. Minor, major seven, you'll see in parentheses sometimes. And so, you could just loop that chord. Actually, I'm playing X5, 7, 6, 6. Nothing on the high E. And you could just jam on that, and it's a great way to burn that sound in. Just loop that chord and use that scale. And just go to town on that. Now, the other thing that's good to think about is if my Aeolian has a natural seven, what does that do to all the other modes in there? For instance, if I go all the way back down to, I was doing this in D, so if that's the sixth degree, kind of talking about the key of F here, but the note that we took out of key, it's going to show up in different places relative to other degrees of this overall mode. So for instance, it's Ionian sharp 5. So Ionian chord in this key would be just an F major, but it raises the fifth. So you could do that, add that note into any of the degrees of the key. So it's Ionian sharp 5, it's Dorian with a sharp 4, it's Phrygian, and I'm going to hang on this one for a minute because it's kind of interesting. Phrygian would normally be a minor, but that note, so C sharp in this case, if I add that into my minor 7 chord, my 3 chord, becomes a dominant. And this happens all the time. The 3 chord gets played as a dominant. A real common situation is if you have a 7-3-6 progression. In F, that would be E minor 7 flat 5, some kind of A to the 6 chord, 7, 3, 6, and the reason sometimes people will play this, even though it's the 3rd degree, it should be minor mathematically, they'll play it as a dominant because it's just more leading. Dominants lead. And we're trying to go home to a 6 chord, so why not use something that leads a little bit more powerfully? And when you do that, you're taking a note out of key. It becomes Phrygian with a natural 3rd, which is the same as the Aeolian with the natural 7. And so if you go through all of them, you have Ionian sharp 5, Dorian sharp 4, Phrygian natural 3rd. You have a Lydian with a sharp 9, which is kind of a unique thing, a major with a sharp 9, which is a flat 3 as well. You have another weird situation because the 5 chord, the Mixolydian, ends up with a raised root. So that becomes diminished, which we'll talk more about in a minute. We already said that it's Aeolian with a natural 7, and then it becomes Locrian with a natural 6, and that can also be a diminished chord. And so here's the interesting thing. If you look at this overall mode, yes, it's Aeolian natural 7, but it's also all these other things as well. It's Ionian sharp 5. And you'll hear me say this a lot, I look at a lot of things from the major key perspective. Maybe you're focusing on a 2 chord or a 6 chord in the progression, but it's just easy for me to think about what's the home key for those. And in this case, it's F, or F Ionian sharp 5. And the cool thing is, if you look at what that does, if you lay out the major scale, do, re, mi, but you raise the 5th, you get a sequence of minor thirds. You can't have a sequence of minor thirds. You won't go very far before it won't work. But if you raise the 5th, you get a complete cycle of minor thirds. And so it can be kind of a cool other thing to do when you're in that situation that calls for the harmonic minor scale. So, for instance, here I have the Phrygian with the natural third, the dominant chord looped here. I'll play that for just a minute. So that note I'm reaching up for is the note that's out of the key. So just there, I was playing a little bit of a diminished tone center, just a cycle of minor thirds, because again, that lives in that sharp 5 mode. And it's just kind of a cool thing. So I was playing like an E diminished tone center, or just again a cycle of minor thirds, because it locks in to the Ionian sharp 5 mode. And so there's just a few that you would hear real common. It's not all that common that you would hear an Ionian chord with a sharp 5, but you might in passing, probably not going to end the song there. You'll hear the heck out of a 3 chord played as a dominant. So again, I chose the key of F just for the exercise. So if you're looking at a tune that's in the key of F and you're scratching your head because, wow, there's an A7, not an A minor 7, which locks right into the key, the straight ahead key. That's what's happening there. And you will hear the minor with a major 7 quite often. Those are the more kind of common degrees that will be written in a tune in terms of the chords that you'll see. But they both prompt that scale. What's the Pink Floyd? So they use that minor with the major 7 in that tune, and you do hear. I love that. It's like mysterious and cool sounding thing. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, but I'll put a worksheet in the section below there, giving some like chord things to try and scale things that you can just kind of jam on. Just loop a couple of different chords and play the harmonic minor scale or Ionian sharp 5, same animal, or also some diminished stuff that you can do, just lay over that and jam over that. So thanks again for watching, y'all. Have fun.